Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a disassembly for you on this little guy right here. This is the Boker Knives Lateralus. So, let's go ahead and take this little guy apart here. It is worth noting, though, that I think I've taken this apart already. Maybe I didn't. I don't really remember. But either way, this one has actually gotten a little bit of carry before the disassembly just because, well, it's how the timing worked out. This is... Oh, come on. Are you going to come apart? There we go. That one's popping loose at least. This is sort of a fact of my life with the channel and whatnot. This is not my full-time job. I've mentioned this on many occasions. In addition to filming for the channel, hold down, whoa there, a 40-hour-a-week job. And so very often the needs of the many... What the heck? The needs of the channel are outweighed by... Okay, sorry guys, there's suddenly a random plastic washer. Oh, I bet that's a spacer because yeah, I bet this screw was just too short. And so as a result, this was inside there to give it a little bit more, yeah, because this was cut too long. Oh, that's a cut corner. Is there one on the other side? No, okay. Well, either way, whoa, back at the ranch, sorry. But anyways, sometimes it is just the case that, you know, I just don't have the time I need in order to fully, you know, to do the filmings and everything in the perfect ordering. It'd be nice if I could just put everything on hold, but unfortunately I really can't. And so this is one of those rare cases where I've actually carried and used the knife a reasonable amount before I actually did this disassembly here. That said, I also had to sharpen it up because it came to me a little bit dull. And thanks to my buddy Josh over at Journey Win Junk, the blog, for sending this guy along. But anyways, this is, yeah, something I wanted to... I've been curious to see what this is going to do in terms of improvement. And clearly I haven't taken this apart because I would have already been aware of that bearing thing. Is there a second bearing? Oh, yeah, here it is. It's over here. All right. Yeah, I would have that would have been flagged in my brain, so I guess I haven't. It's been a long time, a long day, guys. This is maybe neither here nor there, but what the heck am I doing? There's not a whole lot going on with this knife here. I mean, at some very real level, it's G10 on this side, steel bearing race, which is good at least, and then some kind of a handle on here, probably steel. Yeah, it feels steely. But anyways, you know, there's not a whole lot going on here. This is interesting. It's coming at a time where my work life, my actual, you know, life that I get paid for is becoming more and more crazy at the same time that the channel is too. I am, you know, making, you know, there is more and more, sure, whatever, going on in the channel at the same time that everything else is getting a little nuts. And so it's been a little bit of it's a joy, but it's also a little bit of a stressor. And so sometimes things are a little less than optimal in terms of orderings and whatnot. But I'm doing my best here, and I think that's the important thing, and that's what I hope people understand, is even when I struggle, I'm doing my best. Alrighty, and this is, damn it, this is not a full-time job for me. Give me mercy, mercy. All right, back to the ranch. Let's go ahead and start the reassembly here. I've cleaned everything up. Like I said, there is some internal skeletonization here. Some excellent resonance right there. There's internal skeletonization, keep that in mind. And I'm applying a little bit of a 10-weight nano oil here using a nano oil pen, which just makes my life a little bit easier, makes it a little harder for me actually to over-apply lubrication. Mind you, that's not saying I won't do it, it just makes it harder. That's all. Then I'm going to go ahead and drop this bearing onto here. Try and remove this little piece of cloth. Come on, there we go. That is off of my little cleaning swatches. Unfortunately, this batch of cleaning swatches that I picked up has a little bit more linty threadiness to it. That's the technical term, of course. All right, I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit of lubrication to the detent ball path, as well as over here on the detent ball directly. Now we're going to go ahead, drop the pivot down onto here. I'm sorry, drop the blade down onto here. And while I'm doing this, since I'm kind of rebuilding from the bottom up, I'm going to go ahead and insert the stop pin over there as well. Now, at this point in time, I will place a little bit of lubrication where the bearing goes, here. Rotate that. One thing to keep in mind here is that this is a D-shaped pivot. There's this D shape on the bottom here, and there's a corresponding D shape in the bottom of this guy. So I want to make sure that as I reassemble everything, and by the way, shouldered standoff. So you can see here there's this little area that goes directly into the holes back here. That's going to make my life easier here. So something I figured I'd highlight. But anyways, you want to make sure that that D shape is properly positioned, because otherwise you're going to have a bad time. Nothing's going to want to go into position. It's not going to be any good. And there went my stop pin. Well, that's cool. I wonder when that happened. Put this here. Like, wow, that was too easy. Yep, it was too easy. Alrighty. Let's go ahead. There we go. Stop pin is in position. Now, and I also sharpened this before disassembly, which is, well, that wasn't maybe the greatest of ideas. Let's put it that way. There we go. Okay, that's in position now. Everything's in. The reason that's not necessarily a great idea is because disassembly involves a fair amount of fiddling with the knife, and you want to, in a perfect world, fiddle less with a sharp knife if you have the choice. Okay, I'm just keeping pressure down on this because right now the lock bar tension is actually trying to push the blade up off of things. I'm going to see if I can swap to a bigger bit here and drop the pivot into position. I'm going to use some blue Loctite here, which is a thread locker compound, and that'll let me put everything back into position. And by the way, if you're curious about any of the tools I'm using for this process, go ahead and check my knife disassembly toolkit video. Okay, so this little spacer thing that kind of weirded me out for a second there is everything's working out such that it is a spacer. Basically, I suspect what happened, and again, I'm not a brilliant man, don't trust me on this, but what I suspect happened is that the other side of the pivot here was not made quite short enough, such that if you just screw this all the way in, the pivot wouldn't be tight it wouldn't be properly tight without that little spacer. So this spacer just gives a little bit more height, basically, to the bottom portion, which allows you to fully tighten this guy to the extent that's necessary. This is kind of an ugly hack. I'm going to be completely honest with you. This, if it is in fact that, rather than something else which I don't understand, which it could be, let's be real here. And I'd love to have any, knife maker or person with any knowledge tell me what's going on otherwise, but that is, those aren't great. I mean, and you do see that on a fairly regular basis. You add a little spacer if something's out of tolerance, and that turns a knife or a pivot at the very least, that would have otherwise been, a discard part or something like that, into something you can include in a saleable knife. Yeah, like I said, I'm not in love with it. It implies a level of sloppitude that I'm not a fan of, but you know what? Whatever, okay, I guess. And at some level, ecologically speaking, we should be accepting of these sorts of things rather than making a brand new pivot and throwing away something that could be salvaged. But, on a cheap knife, okay, maybe. But as you go higher end, no way. All right, flipping beautifully. Centering is good. Actually, perfect. No blade play. We are all set here. Beautiful. Alrighty, there you go. Hope this has been interesting to you, and have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.